So we're here today with Alison, and I want to talk to you about when a contractor is thinking about, what are the three things they have to be thinking about of how they sell their business? Is it going to be just, are they going to be the low price guy out there? Are they going to be the highest service person out there? Are they going to be just offering it? We're going to offer the top quality products out there. And I've heard the old adage, hey, you could pick any two of the three, but you can't have them all. So what's your thoughts on that?
So to offer to my clients?
Yes.
Price, quality, or?
Service.
I wouldn't decouple them. You can't. Because your quality and your service is going to tie into your price.
Well, generally, if you give
that wasn't the answer you were looking for, was it?
If you give a higher, if you're installing the best quality products out there,
yeah,
and giving awesome service, like, hey, we'll be there tomorrow, we'll be there whenever. Then typically that means that your price is going to be a little bit higher.
Yes. So, and I think there is tolerance for that. So for me, quality and service trumps price. I think that I can pitch why I'm worth a little bit more. Why is that? Because I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I have that integrity. I'm going to show up. I'm going to take care of your sites. I'm going to care about what's important to you. I'm not going to let you take advantage of me because we're in this together. Mr. Customer, right? Yeah. This is a loop that both of us are working together.
Because
right?
You're trying to build a relationship,
right.
Not just, hey, we're just going to come in and provide product.
Right, because I think if you just come in, I think the contractors, that's a big thing that's missing. If you're just servicing on price, yes, there is a segment of the industry that's going to say, that's all I want. Mm-hmm. But in the long run, those balls get dropped. And someone else comes in behind them with the quality and the service that picks up the ball and runs with it and keeps it long term. That's where loyalty happens.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that, because we had an interview earlier in the show with Scott Siegel from Certified Contractor Network, who's he helps hundreds and hundreds of contractors from across the United States, and he talks about the same thing. It's like, don't be the low price guy out there, because you're going to be replaced by the next low price person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can't show your value, then, your margins are going to be slim. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tight. And you don't want to live year after year after year with a business like that. You want to.
Yeah, because your head's always on the chopping block. You're always, and then your customers have the power over you to drive your business. And that's not what you want. You want the relationships, multiple relationships out there that you're going to weather those storms, right? This customer's production's going to drop or whatever. If you have the relationships, you can get through that. If you're just a price seller and that's all you're getting, you are replaced very easily. And what are you going to do when the industry shrugs and there's a problem and you're just selling on price?
Yeah. So
you're out.
Yeah. How would you respond to that path? Because you're going to have contractors out there. Yeah, but you don't know my market. I've got to be the low bid guy out there.
I hear that in every single town and city I've ever been to.
Yeah. So how do they, so how would I overcome it? I'm a contractor. I want to do right. I want to make some money. Mm-hmm. I believe I need to be a low price guy, but you're telling me that I really need to be focused on quality and my service. And so how do I set that up so I'm not the low price guy, but yet I'm winning some bids?
I think that you have to, I always say that the market sets pricing. We don't. So that's an interesting concept when you're talking about trying to provide bids to custom home builders and production builders. I think you have to do your homework and you have to know who you're in that market with and against, who all the customers are. So you have to do your homework. And I think that as far as price goes, don't ever start at the bottom. Like that's basic negotiation, right? Is that you find out, don't set your price until you've asked the 50 questions to find out about what is important to your customer, that client, that home builder, that commercial customer, that production home builder. What's important to them? If you don't know what's important to them, how do you know how to price it?
Yeah.
Are they going to value you showing up the next day or within a 24-hour call time? Yes or no? How much are they going to value it? Gee, I don't know. Well, so if you just put in the lowest price, you're never going to find the high water mark for the services that you could provide that make you different than the guy down the road, right? You know, one of the funniest things I ever saw a long time ago, not funny, but it's funny for this to illustrate. There was a spray foam contractor who really had it going on. They had a lot of business in a small market. They had their guys show up just like the new couch delivery guys. They put, this is a renovation story. They put the little booties on their feet, hi, Mrs. Smith. They had the clipboards. They're clean. They're tidy. They're talking to their customers. They're taking little tiny, very small expense items and making them a point of differentiation for their competition. Does he do that? I don't know. But you're leaving that calling card. So that sounds like it's a very silly thing, but contractors who think about how do I make myself, how do I give my value proposition spin that's important to my customers? And you can't do that unless you ask the customers what's the most important thing to them. They're all going to probably say price. Right? But that's not true. They're always going to lead with that, especially if you're talking to large, well-organized clients. So potentially not homeowners and not custom builders that are small or infill builders, but you're talking about sophisticated clients. These are people who have been to purchasing school. They understand how to get the lowest price out of you. You have to understand what's most important to their company. It could be risk mitigation. How would you, what? What do you mean? That's important to you? It could be, reoccupancy. That sounds like it's not, a buzzword right now, but it will become more and more of a buzzword. How fast can they turn and close the lot for a production builder? Their, superintendents are incented on how fast that lot can get closed and turned. So what's important to the job superintendent might be a little bit different than what's important to the purchasing department. But all those guys are stakeholders in that relationship that you're doing with that customer.
And as a good salesperson, and that's what you say as a default. Whenever you hear, well, we just need the lowest bid, you immediately say you need to go back and
need to understand
that customer first.
Yes,
because there may be some stuff that they might not even be aware of that you need to bring as you as a contractor can bring value to them.
That's why I'm called the 50 question girl, because I go in and I ask them. Number one, you're showing that you care about their business and you want to know what's important to them as a company, organization, personally. You can tailor your offering to what their needs are. And that's what we should be doing. Not everybody needs the same thing. So you have to, unless you ask the question and find out what's valuable to that company, whether it's risk mitigation, whether it's, how were you insured? Are you going to be able to show up within 48 hours of a call? Do you have a problem with call outs on the weekend? Any of that stuff, you don't know until you ask. You really don't.
Yeah.
So I like to ask I want to always plant a seed. So for example, if you are 20 miles closer to that person's job site, is that important to them? Have you ever asked them that question? Where do your spray foam technicians travel in from? Is that important? I don't know. It might be in the fall, winter, or early spring so that your trucks don't get canceled when you have to go out to a muddy site and spray on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Right? Those things are all important. They seem really small, but they add up. If you ask the right questions, you're going to know what's valuable, and then you know how to price and you understand your competition. I think don't start low. Start at what is a viable, profitable. No one's out here to, no one's going to be printing money, but we're all in business to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. And as a business owner, you need to have that as your mindset.